Alright, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I have for you guys today, a big Ramy story. Hopefully, I can give you guys a little bit better idea of how Ramy is looking. Now, we're about 9 weeks out from the Olympia right now, 8 weeks out about from the Arnold Classic. And Ramy recently did an appearance overseas where you can get a little bit better glimpse, like I said, close up like this on the Instagram stories of a guy by the name of Mohamed Mahar who met up with Big Ramy at this meet and greet. And like I said, you can just get a much better idea of how Ramy is looking from these stories and some of the training videos that we saw. We talked about this in the last video, I believe. Some of the training videos that Dennis James posted, that Enhanced Labs posted, they were real blurry. It was really hard to tell almost anything about Ramy's physique. And aside from those recent training videos, we've really seen almost nothing in terms of a physique update from Ramy, or really gotten any idea at all of how Ramy is looking as far as defending his title this year in 2021. So one thing that caught my attention in these stories, aside from just getting a simple look at Ramy, is there's a point in the video where Ramy is like fanning himself off, and you can actually see the separation in his abs through his t-shirt at 9 weeks out from the Olympia, which some of the people that sent me this story thought was a really good sign for Ramy to be in that good of shape at this point out. Now, to be honest, Ramy is a guy, while he has struggled with conditioning, I don't know that I've ever seen a picture of Ramy without any abs at all. I mean, the guy's massive, but he's always in a relatively good shape. Even when he's like close to 350 pounds, he still has abs. In fact, I would say probably the majority of pro bodybuilders, even in the off-season, have visible abs, probably to the extent where you could see them through a t-shirt. So, while I think it's a good thing that you can see his abs, and while he certainly does look in some of these stories to look vascular or in relatively good shape, I don't think any of this is really that great of an indication of how Ramy is looking, and nothing can really replace an actual physique update, a posing video, or him actually hitting a shot in posing trunks. All this speculative stuff, it kind of sucks that that's all we have to work with, but it is all we have to work with. Blurry training videos and stories of Ramy from appearances on other people's pages, which is unfortunate because the fact of the matter is Ramy is the most interesting man in bodybuilding right now. He is the current Mr. Olympia. He will be defending his title. And when it comes to bodybuilding, everybody wants to know, will he or won't he be able to defend that title? Will he be able to come in shape again, similar to or better than the shape that he brought last year? That is the biggest question in bodybuilding right now. That is the question that will determine the results of the Olympia. But the best we can do right now is simply guess. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think Ramy will or will not be able to defend his title at the Olympia this year? Now, next up in the news, I wanted to talk about IFBB Elite Pro Michal Krizo again. He's been in the comment section of a lot of current IFBB Pro League pros. He's been making a lot of noise. He's been really drawing a lot of eyeballs because he does have a really impressive physique, and he's been kind of talking a lot of smack on social media. Well, recently he's been hashtagging a lot of his posts 8 weeks out from the Arnold Classic, and a lot of people, myself included, we're a bit confused by that because he is an IFBB Elite Pro bodybuilder, not an IFBB Pro League bodybuilder. They are two separate organizations, although I do believe he is one of the best, if not the best, bodybuilders in that other federation. Now, that split is kind of a complicated thing to explain, but essentially, he's competing in the Arnold Classic in 8 weeks, just not the Arnold Classic USA. So some of the Arnold Classics ended up staying with the IFBB Pro League, and some of them wound up belonging to the IFBB Elite Pro. Now, the IFBB Elite Pro Arnold Classic that Michal is competing in is the Arnold Classic Europe, a.k.a. the Arnold Classic Spain, which is less than a week prior to the Arnold Classic US. So that's why it seemed like he might be saying he's getting ready for the Arnold Classic that we are all thinking of, because those two Arnolds are happening less than a week apart from each other, and I didn't even know that other Arnold Classic was happening. So to clear up any confusion, Michal is not competing in the Arnold Classic Ohio. Now, next up in the news, I wanted to give a shout out to James Hollingshead. Now, James, he qualified really, really early for the 2021 Mr. Olympia, about as early as anybody could qualify. So he has had essentially the entire year, the luxury really, of only having to focus on prepping for the Olympia. Now, unfortunately for James, he has not been able to train for the past 9 days because of an illness, which I believe was the virus. Now, this physique update was posted by his coach, Patrick Tour, with the caption, "Down but not out. Yes, we've taken a big uppercut on the chin and had to put our knee on the floor for a long count of 9 days without training nor cardio, but finally things are going better, and Hollingshead was able to get things moving again." Clearly, we are not where we could be at this point, but by keeping calories at maintenance and body composition has not taken a hit. So, like I said, while this probably sucks tremendously for James, and it's probably a major setback in his prep for the Olympia, I would not go counting out James Hollingshead quite yet. I don't think this is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back because, like I said earlier, he's had and still has the luxury of not having to compete. He doesn't have to qualify for the Olympia. He doesn't have to do any of these upcoming shows. He doesn't have anything to worry about. All he has to worry about is getting to the Olympia and peaking for the Olympia, which I think for him is a tremendous advantage. And I think for him it's going to be a really big deal that he didn't have to focus on anything or worry about anything except for the Olympia because he made that wise move to try to qualify pretty much as early as he possibly could. Even sitting out the 2020 Mr. Olympia, which he was also qualified to compete at. So best wishes to James and certainly hoping that he has a speedy recovery. Now, next up in the news, I wanted to talk about Antoine Vaillant, 2 months post-surgery. Now, his left bicep, he tore his bicep, he had to have surgery on it, and his weight in this picture and video is about 279, he says. But what really sucks for Antoine is this looks like this is a very significant setback for him, and while he had a really good year last year, he kind of made his comeback to professional bodybuilding and really being a solid competitor, winning shows. Keep in mind, last year in 2020, he won the California Pro Show to qualify and go to the Olympia. And then he went to the Olympia where he wound up taking 14th place. So not the best Olympia placing last year, but he was having a really good year and was becoming a really competitive pro again. So it sucks to see him set back that significantly because I saw these recent physique updates of him hitting these side shots and where he's joking about the size of his head. And I just noticed how significantly downsized he looked and probably what a significant road to recovery he's going to have to get back to where he was last year, if he can get back to that point. So I'm hoping that Antoine has a speedy recovery because I was becoming pretty excited about the prospect of his future after last year. That California Pro Show, that was a really big win for Antoine. So again, shout out to Antoine, and of course we are wishing him a speedy recovery. And the final story that I have for you guys today, Hassan Mustafa posting another physique update today. I believe he is, in fact, preparing for the Tampa show. He wants that Olympia qualification. I'm still waiting to see Hassan really nail the conditioning. So far, it seems like that's something he's really been struggling with. He's been kind of like right in the mix of a lot of these shows. He's been really close to like first call out or top 3, but he just does not seem to be able to nail that conditioning. He's got all the size in the world. He's crazy big, gigantic legs, gigantic upper body. The guy, if he came in shredded, I think he could win most of these shows, but he's just not doing it. And whether or not we'll see that in Tampa, I guess remains to be seen. But this is the most recent physique update of Hassan Mustafa. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Please give the video a thumbs up if you did, in fact, enjoy it. And subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet already. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out.